everybody. Welcome to the first day of digital learning. We are going to take some of the things that we have been working on, along with some of the things that we did earlier in the school year. We're going to combine them all together and we're going to start working towards a new skill. Today, let's start off by looking at a problem like this. 420 divided by 10. While you may know the answer to that problem right off the bat, let's take a look at what is actually happening when we take this problem. When we're initially looking at this problem, we're asking ourselves, what happens when we have 4 hundreds and 2 tens? And we're dividing those into groups of 10. We're going to take each and every one of these pieces and divide them. I know that when I start here, I have to ask myself, what is 100 divided by 10? And that's going to be 10. And then do the same thing to the rest of the hundreds. I have to divide each and every one of those hundreds by 10. I'm not done yet though, because I also see that I have tens that need to be divided by 10. And we know that whenever we have 10 divided by 10, that gives us 1. Uh-oh, Miss Day made a typo. 1. So when we look over here at our answer, we see that we have 42. Which looks pretty similar to what we started with, minus the 0. Another way of looking at this problem that we did at the beginning of the year is to use our place value chart. Let's reflect on that at the beginning of the year. When we started with 420 and we were dividing by 10, we agreed that when we divide, our place value spots, if we're working with whole numbers, they need to be decreasing. Our place value spots are going to go backwards. So when I have, just like in the problem before, those 4 hundreds became 4 tens, while those 2 ones, or 2 tens became 2 ones. Now what happens here on this line, since we have a 0 right there? Since this was our ones place value, we know that there is a decimal right behind it. So we know again 420 divided by 10 equals 42. Let's move forward with some more numbers. We're going to start this time with 1600, and we're dividing by 100. Just like on the problems we did last week, I want to rewrite this using our unit form. I want to write this as 1600. And 100. Okay, while I'm looking at this, we're going to take a similar situation that we did last week in our other problems. I'm going to look for easy pieces that I can take out of here. I see right off the bat that I can take 16 divided by 1. And what is 16 divided by 1? Well, it's 16. Now I'm going to look at my next piece, 100 divided by 100. I know many of you that are in my class, we have talked about the fact that divisions and fractions are very commonly related. So another way to write a division problem is to write it like a fraction. 100 divided by 100. And what do we know happens when we have a fraction that is the same on the top as it is the bottom? That's right, it means you just have 1. So 100 divided by 100, well, that equals ones. 16 ones. For this problem, we could also visualize the fact that since both of these had 2 zeros showing that we were working with hundreds, that we could use those 2 zeros to just kind of get rid of the others. But what happens in a problem like this, where the number of zeros we're working with is not the same on both sides of the division problem? In this one, we have 24,000 divided by 600. So for just a second, I'm going to think back again to the problems where I like to find the easy problems that I know how to work with. I'm going to find some things that look a little simpler for me. I'm going to leave this 24,000 as it is. But I'm going to decompose this 600 to be 6 and 100. So I know that I'm going to have to divide by both of these before I'm done. While we're working, let's visualize some of the strategies we've used before to help us narrow these numbers down. We can look and see, how are we going to get rid of that 100? If we're dividing by 100, I know that means my number, which again we're starting with over here, our dividend, would be decreasing by 2 place values. And I know that when I have zeros at the end of those place value spots, when they go into the decimal, I don't always have to show those. So when those go backwards, I know that these 2 zeros are going to fall behind the decimal. Can make a little mini place value chart over here to help you recognize that. When we move back 2 spots, we're left with 240 in our whole numbers. Now all I have left is 1, and since dividing by 1 gives us the same number, we can just kind of push it out of the way. Now we're ready to divide by 6. 240 divided by 6. Do you see any common facts in there that you may know? Hopefully you're seeing 24 divided by 6. I know that 24 divided by 6 equals 4. And since this was 24 tens divided by 6, I know my answer is going to be 4 tens, which is also known as 40. All right, let's try one more problem before you go to your problem set. We're going to start off with 180,000 divided by 9,000. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of decompose some of these numbers and stretch this problem out so I can see what I'm working with. I'm going to leave my dividend because I don't like to mess with it since that is the actual number we're dividing. We're only going to stretch out the divisor. So what I'm going to do here is I know that 9,000 is 9 copies of 1,000. So I have to divide by 1,000 and divide by 9. Dividing by 1,000, I know means that my number is going to move backwards 3 place value spots on the place value chart. Since I have zeros at the end of that number, those zeros are going to fall off as they pass that decimal on the place value chart. So I'm going to have 3 zeros that just kind of fall off my number where I don't need to look at them. That leaves me with 180 divided by 9. Hopefully you're looking for a familiar number, something that you can work with. You know that 180 is 18 tens. 18 tens divided by 9, well, we know if 18 divided by 9 is 2, 2 tens is 20. So 180,000 divided by 9,000 is 20. Now I'd like you to go to your problem set of lesson 16. You can either find this on your Google Classroom for a digital copy, Or if you look in your envelope that was sent home with you, there is a paper copy. Please work on the problem set. If you feel like you need extra help, email me and we can set up time to visit. And there's also extra problems in the homework if you want to keep working. See you tomorrow.